there, folks. Welcome to the next episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast. Great to have you along. We got some fantastic stuff. We've got Texas Mud Drags, news, results, and some views from the panel tonight. We've got some previews coming up of a couple races. We've got the Homochitto or Homochitto, if you're east side of Michigan, depending on how you want to say that. Guys are coming on. We're going to talk about that track, an emerging new track here in our sport. Got some great content. Great to have you along. And let's get right to it. All of this content brought to you by our friends at Racing in the Dirt out of Cleveland, Wisconsin, along with Silverback Offroad Speedway, which conveniently was where the Texas Mud Drags race was this past weekend, and Silverback Offroad Rentals, where you can drive yourself all over on the Silver Lake sand dunes. Joining me this evening is Damian Bowers, John Sword. Both those guys were on site at the Texas Mud Drags race, along with myself this past weekend. And Dave Applegate and Billy's Teeters join us as well. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. And let's just jump right in. For everybody here, Texas Mud Drags, what do we think? Everybody's seen the live streams. Everybody's seen a lot of the video footage and pictures and stuff like that. What do we think? How do we feel?
From my perspective, because all I did was watch the live streams, the racing was lit, it looked like. And it seems like you guys had a decent amount of spectators. It looked really good from my perspective as a viewer online.
It was a great show in person. So much good racing. Surprisingly few wild rides. One of the few was myself right here. First time I've ever actually overdrove it to the point of hitting something.
Damian Bowers.
Is that picture from this weekend? Is that picture from this weekend, Damian?
Yeah, Ron Harner took this picture right here of me. So
okay.
Damian, what puts you more in fear for your life? Your own Jeep or Billy's mini bike? Go.
At least with this, I'm in a decent cage and strapped in. Billy's mini bike could just throw me off at any point.
Did you really just say my mini bike was scarier than your Jeep?
Yeah, at least with that, I've got a cage around me. I'm strapped in, head and neck on.
No, I know what's scarier.
We're clipping
bringing that Jeep crunched up back to Mooch. That's scary.
We may have found something right there.
Don't get me wrong, the ride was fun. 300 shot, had the bar a little too high, had the suspension a little too loose, and it decided it wanted the center line, and I lifted with the front end, as you can see, turned, and it tried to get the guardrail. I had to try and keep up on all fours, almost had it stop, and that built-up sand berm just sucked her over in. Thankfully, no meaningful damage, a little scuff on the wheels, a little scuff on the tires. Other than that, A-okay. We made some changes and made a killer pass the next day.
True.
Well,
Isaac,
I'm kind of with Billy. I wasn't able to go that weekend, so I did a little bit of watching, John's videos and, Damian's videos and Isaac and all you guys, and even some of the guys from Texas and all that. And it was kind of strange, man. I can be honest, it was really friggin' weird. I never seen a blue dragster in the winter circle, and I was like, yes, my God, somebody took him out. Holy shit. So, yeah, it looked like a really good race up there, man. Yeah.
We're used to Jason Benson driving the Kryptonite Jeep. I think we found John Sorg's Kryptonite because I was informed Friday night the last 2 times Johnny has lost a round have been to the same guy. I think he's in your head.
I gotta tell you something. I don't remember that because that last race I went home and he was one of my finals and he red lit.
You went home crying?
But he said he beat you the race before, maybe? Before you went on your little streak here?
That could be. That could very well be.
Hey, there's only been a few people that have beat him this year. One of the other ones was driving this Jeep in Cleves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the old man got lucky there. I'd give him that. I'm up for a rematch.
Well, John, what do you think? What do you think? How did the race go, bub?
Who, me?
John? Yeah,
how did John
go? Man, I had
the
a
only
good
John
time.
here.
But
the only John here.
What's up, Billy?
Bueller.
You're really a butthead here. I had a good time. I mean, but the problem is I'm a terrible spectator. So I found myself just chomping at the bit, running around all day, trying to find myself into something. And I couldn't. It was terrible. I couldn't even get in trouble. I tried. What else can I say?
Why are you such a damn problem? Like, why can't you just go to the race and just sit down? And why did you? Was Pat Goodell not there? You couldn't bet money with Pat?
No, Pat was not there to bet money with.
God
And
damn it,
so that
Pat.
was disappointing, to say
All
the
right,
least.
first of all, hold on. Before we go any further, if Pat Goodell is not at the Legends race at Silverback August 2nd, I don't know how much I can do because he's much more powerful than I am, but I am going to be very upset with him.
Well, good to know. Pat Goodell is one of our sponsors for Top Limiter that evening. So
there we go.
He should definitely be there then. But anyway, yeah, back to Texas Mud Drags. You better be there, Pat. But yeah, let's move on before I get too carried away here. But yeah, I thought from my perspective of Texas Mud Drags, it looked really good. The online presence after Friday night was a little interesting just because it seemed like there was a bunch of bitching about the lack of car count and then the payout dilemma with the open class. And that's my mom. Say hi to my mom. She's letting the dogs out.
Yeah, I mean, there
You look
was a
better now,
little
Billy.
little unrest about the payout for Friday night, specifically one class in particular. Tough to know what exactly was said and what was meant and all that stuff, but suffice to say that possibly one person felt he should have got a certain amount of money and that didn't happen. I mean, I don't think that's that far out of the realm of what
fair
happened.
way to state that. Very fair way to state that.
It wasn't advertised though. Was that something they just brought up on the spot at the race, or was that something that was said in the inner workings of the class, or like what? Because it wasn't even on the flyer. That's why I'm
honestly,
confused
from my perspective, from what I took from it was kind of in the inner workings. Okay. And because of the lack of cars, it wasn't felt maybe necessary to pay that out. That's basically what it boils down to.
How did the entry fee work, John and Isaac? Did they and Damien?
100%.
Whatever class it might have been there. Was it 100% payback, or how did that work? Did they get the money back?
What was the entry fee?
And open it was $200, but I don't know about the rest.
The rest of the classes, other than the bracket, were all $100 entry fee. The bracket, I don't know about the War Slammer. I think it was $100 as well. And then the bracket class was 30 or 40.
That's $40.
I think that's $40.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I like John said, I'm guessing it was the inner workings. I had heard that amount probably a week or two ago already. I guess from my standpoint, if you're gonna, if you're thinking about putting up that kind of money for the open class, why not advertise it and see if you can get some more cars there, right? I mean,
totally.
More people are going to spend $200 to get that 1,000 than they are to go at the 100%.
Oh yeah.
Let's take a shot at it and see how many cars we get. When there's a guaranteed amount, more people are going to put their foot down and make an effort to get there.
Right. Ensing may have actually tried more likely to get the transmission and stuff in time. You may have seen some more local dragster guys or alder guys come and take a shot at it just because, hey, I'm in the ballpark. I've got a chance.
Right.
I mean, that's true. But until it's not 100% sure or even like confirmed.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think there's a reason even remotely try to be upset about it or even just, I don't know. If it's not on the fly, I don't know. I'm a big, like, if the people running the show don't say anything or confirm it, then I'm not going to get too worked up about it.
Totally. I get that.
If they did the 100% payback, that's cool. If they were going to do $1,000 added, and this is what ifs here, if he was going to give $1,000 added to that and he was unhappy with the 4-car entry, think about it ahead of time and then set a limit on it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like if you don't get an X amount of cars, you don't get the added money. We're still going to run the class, but if we don't get the amount of cars we don't want, then we're not going to run it. But, you know, like I said at the beginning of that, like if it's not confirmed by the people who are running the show, then I don't know.
I mean, both sides could have better confirmed it to make sure it was real or not
Absolutely, yeah.
real, you
Sure,
know.
yeah,
So obviously
absolutely,
it was
yeah.
a gray line, and you know, that's
Definitely.
what gray lines do.
Well, here's my take on it. If are we sure that it was 100% payback? Are we confident on that?
I'm pretty
100%
confident on
payback.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was
$800.
100%.
So that would have been $800 for 4 cars. And how much did Doug end up getting?
I don't want to talk about his financial
Okay,
status.
we will.
But no, it was like
alone.
$560, I think.
What
Alright,
was
so-
that?
What was it for?
I don't.
They
I don't
split
wanna
it between
talk
first
about
and second,
financials.
right?
I was
Yes,
like,
they
this
did
much.
split it between first and second.
See, that's
All right,
dumb.
so
Four
here's
car
my
classes,
take
just
on
give it all the first. That's crazy.
Here's my take on it. If it's
Sure.
100% payback,
Mm-hmm.
right? What would it matter, in all honesty, if they had an extra 1,000, 500, 2,000, 3,000, whatever? You're 100% payback. You see where I'm going with that? So if you're 100% payback, you know guys are coming. So why would it matter how many show up if you're doing 100% payback and you want to add some money to it? To me, that doesn't make any sense. If you're going to add it to it,
Well, the main
Could do
fuss
that.
is that there was talk of $1,000 added to it, and the $1,000 wasn't added to it whenever they thought it was gonna be. The
Right,
100%
understand.
payback was always gonna happen.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway,
And
but
you know
other than
what?
that, I mean, like, that was
And
just
coming
Friday
back
shit.
to all this, I mean, let's face it. It could be just as simple as let's face it, it's a heads up series.
Yeah.
They're not as used to maybe some of this stuff as what we all are here, right? I mean, let's be honest, you know?
Yeah, the most
Definitely.
open class they have is you have to have doors on it. You know,
Very
like,
much so.
And they do have a big, heavy minimum weight you got to meet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot about the weight class.
You got to
There's
have
weight
doors,
limit,
but you don't have to have a front clip.
right.
Or fenders.
Technically, you only have to have a door.
They don't even have to have the cab.
Dude, and what's a door? What's a door anyway? A bunch of Bush light boxes on the side of a freaking Jeep.
I love
It's
Jason
reinforced with
Benson's
some cardboard
doors.
behind
Those
it. I
are
mean, come
cool.
on now, and it's
Huh?
laid out nicely. I mean, it's legible and stuff. You got to
It
admit.
was.
Hey, dude, if it's allowed, why not? It's I bet that what he has there is lighter than any other door he's gonna find.
Oh, I guarantee you they're lighter than my leather and metal doors I've got.
I tell you what, though, I was impressed with the quality of work he put into those doors, because I didn't see any of them blow off.
I ain't gonna lie. I
Dude,
thought
that's
they were
true.
aluminum when I first saw them, just with the beer can wrap over them, or beer box wrap.
John, he got that high quality Gorilla Glue. He got like that nice
He did.
freaking $18 stuff at Home Depot, and he's just right
He
up there
did.
on the
He's
shelf.
goating that shit on a few nights in a row.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was disappointed on the races we didn't get to see. Four-wheel mod, we did not get to see Brendan Whitgen start tearing through that field after we all talked about it. That thing had 2, maybe even 3 tenths on the field there. Jake Weierberg, another truck that was super fast that just could not find himself on the lights. And he even admitted afterwards, he goes, I was frustrated, he says, because I should have done my homework a little better on the tree. And that truck, for what it is, it was
Did the
quick.
tree mess him up at all, or was it just the sand?
It was just the fact that, and everyone ran into this. I ran into it throughout the weekend. The tree, the moment you were standing, it was dropping.
Yeah, it's way too fast there. Way too fast.
Man,
that's the only thing I don't like about it. Is that tree up there? Sorry, but I hate it. It's ridiculous.
Hey, now that we're on here, we'll just tell Chum, you gotta start backing that down a little bit. That way. Yeah,
that definitely would help.
You need to help your racers.
As fast as they are at getting that track prepped, they got plenty of time to give the freaking racers a couple seconds.
Exactly.
It's only a couple of tenths.
Yeah.
Only a couple tenths.
I'm just saying.
Hey, and this is the only complaint so far.
Yeah,
I know, right?
This is literally, if you go to the list, this is uno. Like, this is it. Like, just
it's because
don't let
so
the tree
fast.
drop so fast.
Even the local Michigan drivers,
I agree.
You talk to them about coming to Brookville, coming to Cleves, and they're like, we got forever to come up on the break. It's not like Michigan where it's instant. We can pull in, stage, take a breath, and then hit the throttle.
Well,
you breathe?
It's a race. It's a race to get to the tree, and then it's a race down the track.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to got to get up there first for the other guy. That way I got time to do what I need to do. And the other guy gets up there and he's sorry.
There is a lot of people that do that, yeah.
I'm not, that may be your guys' problem. I'm not a pussy. I'll just line up and run whatever the tree
Yeah, but you've got a nitromethane mini bike. Not everybody has a nitromethane
You don't even have to
You gotta stop bringing up this mini bike, man.
You can do that snap decision stuff.
I'm gonna get too much expectation on myself with this damn mini bike, and it's gonna just go south when it's not supposed to. It's just, but yeah,
this is gonna come up and nutshot you.
Yeah, right.
I can see, like, back to this Texas Mud Drags thing. This thing, I can see that they talked about people just breaking shit, right? Like Vanderwall stayed up till 3:30 in the morning on Friday fixing his stuff. The 4Play guy broke his transmission, and some other guys suffered some breakage. I mean,
Dawson boys actually ran a low. They made 2 hits Friday night. First hit was like a 327, which would have been super competitive in that big block.
Oh yeah.
I think the second pass was like a 320 on the dot. And same thing. They got into the shutdown, got turned around. He put the truck in park, did something, went to put it back in gear, and had 4 neutrals. And that was it.
And unfortunately, being a C6 transmission, there is nobody else running those parts anymore.
Well, I mean,
wait, whoa, what?
How many sand drag cars run a C6 transmission?
We've got one.
You do. Was it at the track to where he could have robbed it for a spare?
20 minutes.
I mean, I didn't hear the ask, so.
So, okay. Anyway, the whole reason I kind of brought that up is that, these guys are used to like mud, dirt, whatever.
Yeah, they're used to Brookville type surface. So
like they're breaking shit because they're throwing the book at their trucks and the sand just isn't giving to it at all, right? That's what happened. They're new to the sand. That's what it is.
I will say this as well, just to kind of bookend this thing, bring us back around. The last 3 passes that the Wine Time Jeep made of Todd Bilesma there are the best 3 passes I've seen that thing make back to back to back ever. That has been the Achilles heel of that thing.
You are right.
Since they brought it out, it did not seem like it could make 3 to 4 really hot passes. And that thing found its groove Saturday night and flat laid it to the rest of the field. I mean, no doubt about it.
Another car with breakage that I'm disappointed didn't get to run the field in the big block class. I don't know the guys' names right off the top of my head. They had just finished this truck up. Blaine Kilby doing all the suspension work.
That square body Blazer.
Yes.
Yep.
Wheelie bar on it, first pass goes out and runs a 37. They yank that bar off. It goes at 323 on Friday night. They loaded up for the night. We're good to go. He pulls it down into staging, cleans it out before he shuts it off. It sounds like a rod exited the block. Thankfully, it didn't, just broken rocker arm. But he was another one that was going to be right there with Troublemaker, right there with Hoskins in the hunt.
Absolutely. So, all right. So let's shelve the rest of our Texas Mud Drag stuff. We got Jason Hoskins coming on here in a little bit. We'll ask you about this picture behind me, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So great to have him coming on. So we're going to shelve the rest of that. Let's move on. We got a couple of really short previews coming for some races that are coming up not only this weekend, but the next couple weeks. So Dave Applegate, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. We just want to do a really quick thing on Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series coming up here July 18th weekend at Silverback, the track we were just talking about. We've got 295 index. We've got some guaranteed money there, as well as HPT turbocharged gift certificates going to those guys as well. We have 350 index, 40 index, side-by-sides, 5 classes for side-by-sides. We've got 3 classes for 4x4 ATVs. That 4x4 ATVs is something you guys are going to want to see. These guys are bad. It's a new class that us guys here at World Sand Drag News got together. and it's coming along really well. So we've got that. Total is going to be about 13,500 to hand out. Again, July 18th weekend, Silverback Offroad Speedway. Flyers getting made now. Should be out this weekend. And we will see you there. And that's all I've got. We'll get back into it at a later date as we get closer.
Excellent. All right, Damien, you have another race coming up at Silverback Offroad Speedway, which is actually their next race coming. The Outlaw Sand Drag Series making its Michigan run for the year.
Definitely, and this is looking to be a good one. Last year, over 20 cars in the top eliminator class. Hopefully, we see another turnout like that. There'll be a few different cars, some that will make the call and some that won't. I know the Gums are currently working on just getting their Jeep running to where they have something to race for the weekend. But you'll have the bracket class. You'll have their open bracket, which used to be their nickel nightmare class, the 4.0 index, 350 index, and a 295 qualifiers on Friday night. Then you'll have the 450 index, another open bracket. I believe they're having an ATV bracket just for a local class up there, as well as the eliminations for the 295 class, which, again, always one of the biggest fields of 295 anywhere in the country all year.
Speaking of 295, not to get too far off the roads, anybody happen to notice a certain car make an appearance on our friend Tristan Graham's page earlier today?
I did not know from the front. I needed a side picture.
What?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. Because shut up. You know more than I do. So don't start with me. Tell me who it is.
We'll get the duct tape and put you on the wall, Billy.
That is the baddest 295, probably the baddest 295 car I've ever seen.
Whose was it?
That is well, I have a feeling possibly it still is, because if you read between the lines when Tristan posted, it sounds like a certain family has reacquired that car.
Oh, okay. So, tell me who it is.
I'll just leave it at this. It sounds like Heavy Metal's bringing its little brother back out to play. And if that's the case, I got $2 for you.
The $2 bill racing.
Ding, ding. Damian Bowers with the winner.
We also have some newbies to the East Coast just making a big move to Tennessee. The Berg family is coming as well.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
They just pulled up and moved their whole operation to Tennessee. And their first race out east is supposed to be the Outlaw Sand Drag Series. And I believe they're even going to try and make it to the big money race at Brookville the following weekend with those cars.
Yeah, they're coming to Silverback too for SPWS. Tyler, when they moved over here, he got a hold of me. I didn't know who he was. And we got to talking, and he started asking questions, and I told him about all the different tracks around here, which he already knew about. And then obviously Damien found out about it. We all found out. I'm very excited to see them over here. That is awesome. That's going to help the sport over here very, very much.
I'm sorry, Absolutely. Isaac. I don't know who that is. I don't know. You said two. I just don't know.
I think it's an Oregon racer.
That is Billy Morris's dragster.
Okay. Why the hell did you just say that? But okay, thank you.
Dude, I left you so many breadcrumbs, it's not even funny.
Cool. You and Damien are way bigger fans of it than I was.
I figured it out, and I barely even knew who it was.
You know, when that car was running, my middle school and young high school boy brain was on to different things at that time. Okay, I was developing into things that the women had.
He certainly wasn't maturing.
That's I didn't mean like mentally maturing. I meant like
in his case, it was mentally downgrading.
Yeah.
All right. So not only did Texas Mud Drags have a race this past weekend, but we also have a couple results. John Sword from other places. Tri-County had a race. What was that? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, a week and a half ago. We didn't have the results when we went over them last week, but they got them to me. We'll start with Friday night's race. That was where they do index racing only. They have a start off with the 680 index. First place was Elmer.
Did you just say a 680 index?
I said a 680 index. So, before we get going here, let's just tip on that, Billy. when you go through these indexes, it's kind of cool because there's a lot of stuff in that area that runs those kind of numbers, and they actually got indexes for them. So it's pretty interesting.
Well,
you get a lot of street stuff in there.
John, John, you know me very well. I've been one of the top advocates for a 7.0 index class.
I know, right?
It's just we need something like that, and the 680 index. We need it. I want to go watch that. That'd be so interesting to watch. I want to watch that.
Well,
one day.
If you want to see stuff like that, Hillbilly Proud, there's another track in that area, Tucker County Four Wheelers. They're challenging the hills. They run a very similar format where you fall into an index. That's your dot. You fall into it, and then it's heads up inside of that index.
David Bowers coming to
let's
put you in
contain- let's
time
contain-
out if you interrupt John's results again.
I think
let's
I think
contain
a
that
lot of
squirrel
this
and put it
comes
back
in. A lot of this comes from the challenge in the hills. Damien is where
I think it does
Tony
too.
Knopp Snyder and Amber Golden and them guys come from. So
Oh.
I think this comes from that area. So anyway, 680 index, first place, Elmer Monagle Jr., second place, Todd Beals, 640 index, first, Jason Flickinger, second place, oh, it's kind of messed up here, first place, second place, it says Todd Beals again, 6-0, first place, Ryan Sieski, second place, Amber Golden, 560 index, first place, Jeremy Bricker, second place, Phil Malmsbury.
Those are definitely side by sides.
No.
They could be.
No.
No, they don't have but a couple. Amber Golden's got that new truck they just put
She's
together.
got that new truck, yeah.
Mhm.
They just brought that out. 520 index is Scott Malmsbury. Second, Matty Krug. 440 index, first, Cameron Krug. Second, Randy McCall. 4.0 index, first, John Horn. Second, Dennis Darling. 360 index, first, Zach Kozak. And second, Ronnie Clark Jr. And the eliminator, when they take them all together at the end of the night and face off at the end, the top guy of the night was Cameron Krug. That was Friday night's results. Now,
all right, hold on. Damien Bowers.
All
Give
right,
us the
go ahead,
breakdown
Damien.
of Cameron Krug's altered, because I know you know what it is, and I don't.
It is just your standard older chassis build. I don't know exactly where the chassis had came from, but Ken Donaldson had it for a while, was going to put a Willys flat fender body on it that eventually Zora's dad now has hanging on his wall. That's actually the body on Zora's Jeep, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So, and then
Interesting.
Cameron ended up with it. It's got a 5.3 LS. It's got like a 650 gear in it, power glide. It is a bracket car from hell. It's got maybe about 450, 500 horse, weighs about 1,800 pounds with 33-inch scoopers on it.
Perfect, man.
The bracket monster right there, just like John's dragster. Not a ton of power, not a ton of weight, and a lot of tire.
If I remember right, he put me on the trailer once.
Well,
Just
he
saying.
probably would have done it twice if he'd had a second chance. No, I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
I'm
Dave,
sure he
that's
will.
not right. That
I'm
probably
sure he
wasn't
will.
right.
Dang.
If he don't, Zora will, because Zora's beat me twice too. So
Oh, shit.
Heck, here recently, he put Zora on the trailer himself.
yeah,
True.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny, what about Saturday then?
So Saturday, they got a pretty basic program. Adult quad, first place, Travis Matthews. Second place, Elmer Monagle Jr. Pro class was Cameron Krug. Second was Cole Carr. Street legal is first place, Kevin Callahan. Second place, Todd Harney / don't ask me this, Michael Jordan. That's different. But apparently he likes sand drag racing.
Dude, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He's got 7 rings in the same drag car. That's awesome.
And the final class, Super Pro, is Cole Carr and Cameron Krug.
Wait,
So I
are we
see a
talking
recurring
Michael
name
Jordan
there.
or Michael B. Jordan?
No,
No, it just says Michael.
Don't you ever try to
Jordan.
compare the two.
Isaac, did you just hear what John's saying there?
No,
How
no,
many
Johnny
times
repeated.
did he
Sorry.
mention Cameron?
I know.
Again?
He did.
Cameron Krug
I
again.
think we need to do a little bit of a grudge thing here with John Cameron, because sounds like both these guys have been really hitting it hard. Let's see what they can do against each other. What do you think?
I think
I like
Cameron's
it.
trying to make the list.
The list.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Gonna
yeah.
make the list. Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna bring them both to a particular race, does that mean we got to find a way to get Keaton Hendricks there too to see what's what?
Yeah, he could interrupt the whole thing.
Well, they're all gonna be at the same place in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We have some grudge racing that night.
See if we can get y'all lined up in the
You know,
first two
Sword,
rounds and
you
get
might
rid
as
of
well-
at least
you
two
might-
of you.
You and Cruz might as well not beat around the bush. You guys can just run each other first round. Just do it.
Hey, if he wants to, I'll do it. We always have good races. I like racing him.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that a call out? Do we need to break this down for Tony a minute?
Did I
Okay.
just call him out
Is
for John?
this a call for Tony?
Does he know how to do it?
We love Tony, but oh man, that is
What's
that
the
is
call
good
out?
stuff.
He probably accidentally called out John just now. Who knows?
All
Billy
right,
gonna call me out.
Billy, what else do we got?
Oh, we got Shorty's Memorial Race at Leslie County RV Park. This is something that Bobby Williams has been trying to put on for a long time. They've rescheduled it due to, I assume, weather, since the rain in Kentucky apparently just doesn't stop. And they got Thursday test and tune, 5 to 10 p.m., $15 per rider. Friday test and tune, 12 to 6:45 p.m. And the racing starts at 7 p.m. with special classes. Racing fee is $20 for a trophy. And I'm ET and Outlaw shootout, $25. Side-by-side shootout, $25. Big trophy race, $20. Saturday time trials at 1 p.m. Big open bracket, $50. Open Outlaw, $50. Special classes, $30. Regular racing class, $20. ET for kids is $10. They are also going to have a kids foot race and a Power Wheels race, and there's concessions, and you can have RVs on site. And I just realized I might have to take my mini bike to this race because on the flyer they have this stretched out freaking I don't even know what the hell it's a mini bike. I don't even know what the hell that is. Is that a snowmobile? What the hell is that? I don't know, but I gotta go put them on the trailer. This is bullshit. But anyway, we're gonna. This race is going on. What did I say? Leslie County RV Park in Hayden, Kentucky, I think.
I have no idea, man.
Oh, I'm reading it. I just can't tell because it's tiny words. But Hayden, Kentucky, and
You
that's
should make your
Shorty's
screen
Memorial
bigger,
Race.
you know.
I did, and it's still tiny. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry, it's actually big letters above it. I didn't see it right here. Hayden, Kentucky.
Dude, no, I was thinking about that. Leslie County. I swear I've seen that on Moonshiners.
Yeah,
I got nothing here. All right.
Folks,
got nothing.
Well, our friends at Racing in the Dirt, Scott and Shane are headed for Cook Station, Missouri, the land of no cell phone reception. So forget about getting the live feed out unless you've got somebody that's got Starlink there. For this weekend's MRA race number 2 of their season coming up this weekend. So shout out to those guys. And as we talked a little bit, possibly with the MRA and Texas Mud Drags being back-to-back, maybe that was a little reason why some of the guys did not show up at the Texas Mud Drag race. Spoiler alert, Casey Lawyer, you kind of owe us some explanation here because we all thought you were going to be there. But that's beside the point. So MRA, second race of their season, Cook Station, Missouri, this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Damian Bowers, you have pertinent information.
Just the classes they're running there, the open, the 4-wheel mods, basically, or well, what they call modified, open paddle, open modified paddles, Outlaw Pro Stock. If you're wanting to see a preview of what's coming, we've got a friend, Nick Davis with Back Channel Productions. He just posted videos from their season opener at the North Florida Motorplex, where the top 3 cars are all within 4 or 5 hundredths of each other in the 240 range on cuts in the Outlaw Pro Stock class, with Kevin Harrison currently the record holder for that class.
Good grief.
Yeah, it should be a great race.
All
I
that
tell you
knowledge.
That Booker Farms track is as nice a track as there is in the country. I mean it. It is super nice. The setting is awesome, and yeah, definitely worthwhile if you're in the area. I mean, if you're within a drivable distance to Cook Station this weekend, well worth your time to go down there and check them out either Friday or Saturday night. So,
psych. Race has been postponed due to weather. They got a bunch of rain over the weekend. They got some more earlier on in the week, so they decided to move the MRA race at Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags to August 1st and 2nd. August 1st and 2nd for Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags. And we will talk about that once we get closer to that. But now, Damian and I are going to move on to our final race preview of the weekends. It's a Texas Sand Motorlex race this weekend where they're going to be featuring some pretty well-known top eliminator cars, I should say, some blown alcohol cars. They're going to have both Dave Villanueva's cars there. Tommy Zavala is supposed to be making a trip, making a visit there, and then so is Damon and Vicky Hall making the trip out there to race with these guys. He promoted over 10,000 horsepower on the property. That is collective, not just one vehicle. And yeah, June 21st, gates open at 3 p.m. Registration starts at 4, test and tune at 6 p.m. Event starts at 7 p.m., which I'm guessing that's when the racing starts. Damien, we don't have a whole lot of information about these classes, do we?
No, we just have the very vague names of the classes. Unfortunately, we have the open class, extreme pro, pro mod, super stock, and street mod. Going from the flyer, I'm going to assume open is going to be Tommy Zavala, Vicky and Damon Hall,
Sure.
the Project X Alder, the track owners, dragsters, etc. Extreme Pro probably going to be closer to, say, what we saw at Texas Mud Drags, the fast door slammer bodied cars.
Yeah, we're just guessing here too, so this is nice.
I could be completely wrong on this. And then Pro Mod, you're probably going to see something more along the lines of what's above me in the background. This is a Bronco that's confirmed to run down there this weekend. Old school Bronco, bigger diggers on the back. I don't know what's in the powertrain, but I've seen videos of it running in the past. It's pretty stout.
Super mod sounds like they're just like big cut tired full body trucks kind of.
Probably. Super stock, probably you're closer to street, and then street mod, probably the vehicles that are going to be completely street legal, but still probably going to have some healthy engines.
Sure. And then they got the quads class. They got the open class, which is pretty basic, heads up. And then they got the Dunner class. I'm just kidding. It's called, they spelled it wrong, but it's Dooner class. It's the Dooner class, just dune bikes, basically a ton of suspension. And the stock arm, which is a favorite in the no bar world. Stock arm's awesome. Stock quad, that sounds pretty basic. And then mini quad, which if we get Damien enough seat time on the mini bike, he could crush that class possibly. So. But yeah, the location is I-10 exit 81 of Fort Hancock, Texas, and very close to the New Mexico state line there as well. A bunch of heads up racing, overnight camping available, no glass bottles, and they got a ton of sponsors. So check out their Facebook page, Texas Sand Motorlex. That's Texas Sand Motorlex. June 21st, they're racing this weekend.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this segment, and we are moving right along. All right, folks, next up, we've got the guys from Homochitto, or Homochitto, depending on how you look at it, Dirt Drags down in Mississippi, and they are brought to you, this segment that they are on, brought to you by Silverback Offroad Rentals. Have you ever wanted to tour Silver Lake sand dunes in your own rig, but couldn't quite get up to do it? Have no fear. The guys at Silverback Offroad Rentals have you taken care of from mild to wild. Great things you can rent by the day. And whether you want to take a sunset cruise or just want to take a lunch ride out to the beach or something like that, check out the gang at Silverback Offroad Rentals, located right across the street from the Sand Dunes parking lot. Open April through May. Great spot. And you can leave with stories worth telling to your kids and grandkids someday. That's Silverback Off-Road Rentals. All right, And now, here is Michael and Kent joining us from Homochitto Dirt Drags. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to this portion of the Paddle Talk podcast, brought to you, as always, by our friends at Racing in the Dirt, along with Silverback Offroad Rentals and Silverback Offroad Speedway. Greatly appreciate them being on board. And this week, got a great treat. Got the guys from Homochitto. It is Homochitto, right? Not Homochitto or whatever the heck Ricky says when he's on here.
Homochitto.
See, I got it. And I used to not be an ATV guy. Look at that. Door car guys are smart. All right. The guys from Homochitto are joining us this week. Gentlemen, take a minute, introduce yourselves, and let's talk a little bit.
My name's Michael Smith. I'm one of the owners of Homochitto Dirt Drags, along with Blake Wallace and Corey Smith, and I'll let Ken introduce himself.
I'm Ken Allen. I'm the dirt man, is what they call me. So, and that's Corey.
I feel like every track needs a guy that knows how to work dirt, because the tracks I've been to where nobody knows how to work dirt are the ones that get all mustered up and gets into a big mess. So that's good. I like it that you got a dirt guy on staff, man.
I'm still learning. Trust me.
I think we all are. I mean, let's face it. That's just how it works. So, all right. So, guys, take it through. How long have you guys been around, so to speak? What's different about this year? And let's talk a little bit about your track. So let's start with, how long has this track been here?
How long has it been, Michael?
I think the track has been probably around for, I'm going to guess, at least maybe 7-8 years now.
Okay.
We actually started going to it. I think this is going to be is it our third or fourth year, maybe?
Third.
But we started, third year. We started going probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Out there. Wesley Gill was the previous owner, and then we ended up being able to get the opportunity to lease it from him. He took a new job. He was working a lot more, and Kent actually grew up with Wesley, and me and Kent kind of got together, and I told him, I said, look, if you're interested in trying to do something with this, if not, open it up to the public, just do it for ourselves and my nephews and his kid and just the locals, we would do something like that. And then it just like everything else, it kind of spiraled out of control.
That's kind of how the best stuff starts, right? It was going to be small, and then it wasn't.
Absolutely. And then we just kind of talked to a couple of our other buddies, and everybody just kind of pulled some money together, and we slowly started making improvements and became friends with Mr. Jeff Gio, and Mr. Jeff Gio started, giving us tips and tricks and telling us what to do and what not to do. We're still learning, but he's been a big help to us too.
I tell you what, man, them farm guys, they know their soil. So that's, and Mr. Jeff is a fantastic guy to have in your corner. So he knows what's going on and how to do things. So do you guys run? I've kind of been following a little bit, but I'll be honest, not super religiously, but I've been following a little bit. So what made this year such, I mean, it seems like a breakout year for you guys. What happened? Just word of mouth or what?
What had happened, it wasn't this past race. It was the race before last. There was a bunch of crap talking that had started on the Facebook page, and it really, really took off. And
Nice.
There was a lot of people calling a lot of people out. And I think that the word of mouth and people started hearing about it. They started joining that Facebook page and kind of got interested and more involved with everything and kind of wanted to come down here and see what we got going on.
What did you?
I like it, man.
Our following went from what to what that first race?
I believe I'll say this: whenever we took over the track, and I think that when we became admins on the Facebook page and started making. Now this was over the course of 3 years. Now I guess it's our third year. It went from I think around 2,500 people on the page to a little over 6,100 now. And from the day that the crap talking started, which was a couple or about a month before the second last race, I think we grew probably around 2,000 likes on that page, people following that page, which was really unexpected. It was really unexpected.
That's huge, though.
That's awesome.
I'm on your guys' group page right now, and just the post made on Saturday. There's some shit.
Oh goodness! Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, I love it. I ain't gonna say your names, but they posted a picture of Jaden Muchmore, and they said, "Finna get on your ass like a Diddy party, old son." That shit's
it kind of took off. It kind of took off this evening. It kind of got fired back up this evening. It got really interesting. You have to go on there and look at it. But yeah, I'm not going to repeat anything that was said on there, but there was definitely a lot said this evening.
I'm gonna read it right now.
I'll be honest, man. That is one thing the ATV guys got going over the car guys. The car guys do not talk crap this way. The ATV guys just like throw down at a moment's notice. Like the wrong thing gets said, and all of a sudden there's like 4 people just ready to get it on.
I fucking love it.
Billy, is K-Dub a member of that page?
I would be surprised if he wasn't, but
I would be shocked if he was not either. So
I don't really think he has a dog in the fight though, because
has that ever mattered to him?
That's true. Never mind.
There you go. We love K-Dub, but there are some things that are just truth, however you look at it, and he's ready to get into any good squabble, it seems, if he sees an opening pretty easily. So
99% of the time it's all fun and games. I mean, people mean what they say, but to a certain extent, but sometimes it gets a little personal, and that's when it's a little line right there that sometimes is close to being crossed, but for the most part it's all fun and games.
Yeah, we've got we have a special treat, so to speak, for one of our later guests this evening as well, and I'm kind of waiting to spring that on him when he gets on here, so we'll see how that goes too. So all right, tell us a little bit about your track. So you guys run 300 foot, just like kind of standard around everywhere else. What kind of shutdown do you guys have?
Right now, 900 to 1,000 feet.
Nice. What and if you guys don't really have a comparison, that's fine, but what would you say your soil content is? Is it, a lot of heavy clay, lot kind of a sand clay mix? Is it something more of a dirt, a packing style thing? What
you can dig down to that place down there. We've set light poles and stuff for lights and all, but you go 10 inches underneath the ground, solid white sand, every bit of it.
Wow.
So the track has actually had dirt hauled in to mix with the sand. So actually Jeff showed up down there last weekend. I was down there working on some fence and stuff, and he was talking about it. And it's just how, I don't know, the sand is just amazing how we had, before that last race, we had 5 to 7 inches of rain up to that Thursday morning before the race Friday. And it was perfect.
They just sucked it all up.
I'm telling you, don't get me wrong. It takes a lot of work to do it, but it filters. I mean, it can be I just wish you could have saw it. It was the muck, messiest, mucky, whatever. I mean, it was just disgusting and all mud. And within 24 hours, it's just gone,
Wow. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. So do you think you have, how wide are the lanes down there?
It's actually 30 foot from inside wall to center of the track, on both sides. Okay. The do-all we have is 21 foot. So that's basically the lane we run.
Yeah.
And we just we've actually been disking with it at a 10-foot disc. So you have to make a couple of passes, to disc it up.
Sure.
We just purchased a 22-foot disc.
Oh, nice.
This past week. Michael's not a big fan of that because he don't like to write them checks. But
I do not like. I just don't like spending a bunch of money. It doesn't matter what it is, personal, business. It just. But at the same time, we're doing this for everybody else, and we're constantly trying to improve and upgrade the track. If that's what it takes to do that, then that's what we're going to have to do. As we just purchased a big tractor, $55,000, $60,000 tractor for the track, $3,000 disc. And again, if it wasn't for everybody that comes and supports us, and a big thing is our sponsors are just amazing. We put the sign up for them, and we've never had anybody just bat an eye at writing a check for a sponsorship, and that goes into a pot. And then what we do, we put that back into the track, whether it be implements, equipment, anything for the timing system. We put a lot of money back in the track and do not mind doing it. But sometimes it does hurt my soul writing $55,000.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? So
it does.
Speaking of timing system, though, what do you guys run for a timing system down there?
Quarter tree.
Quarter tree. All right.
Quarter tree eliminator system. We're talking about upgrading to. I guess a lot of tracks do this. I know Mr. Jeff does, but that they've got a software that you can download to laptops that makes it a little bit easier. That way, when you do decide to run a rather big class, you can have everything entered in there, plug the computer up, and it just automatically does everything for you versus the system that we have now. We have to go in and type each time and hit a tower ready button to have that tree ready and so forth. So that's something that's in the works in the future, is upgrading our timing system. We've talked about doing some boards at the end of the track, maybe something on the concession stand, but that's going to come within time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah. Rome was built a day, neither is a good racetrack. So that's for certain. So have you guys considered, I know you guys have done all ATV stuff so far. Have you guys considered maybe trying out a car class or two?
I'm definitely interested in that. I actually, who was it? Dave Applegate. He reached out to me talking about doing something with his side-by-side series, throwing the track in on that series.
He wants to bring side-by-sides all over the country, man. Just tell him to slow his roll a little bit and get the big cars down there.
His series is for everybody,
it is.
It's for everybody. But he is a side-by-side guy. So
we enjoy giving Dave some crap too,
Side-by-sides, trucks, cars, that's fine. The only thing, we're down to try it, we're down to do it. I just would like to have a little knowledge from somebody who knows what's going on, because I have no clue. But
sure, we got you. We got you with that knowledge.
If we can provide the track, more than happy to do that.
Oh, you provide the track. That's the easy part. Well, you just don't change a thing. Just have the truck show up and see how they do.
That's right, man. I tell you what, there's nothing better. Seriously, there's nothing better than, even if you get a small class of trucks, cars in there, first kind of go around, and a bunch of people go fast. It'll take care of itself after that.
Yeah, and Damien could chime in on this with the area you guys are in too. You could probably make a killing with some mud trucks or something down there, right, Damien?
I'm trying to remember exactly where this track is. What state's it in?
McCall Creek, Mississippi.
Oh yeah, you've got a large contingent of those big block trucks in that area. There's a lot of guys that run those big square bodies, lots of cubic inch big blocks, and they tend to goat path, so you don't really have to work the track all that often.
And Damien knew that off the top of his head. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, it is. You're not wrong.
But you got, there's racers down there for sure.
I forget what Ricky said, but how far are you guys from like Memphis, or what's the closest like big city that people could kind of landmark, say, yeah, I know where that is, kind of a reference point?
Probably Jackson, Mississippi, probably, it's what is hour and 20 minutes north of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say about an hour 20 from McCall Creek to Jackson. I'm not sure which we're all not trying to throw out too many city names. We're all from Brookhaven, which is about 20 minutes from McCall Creek down Highway 84. Brookhaven's about an hour south of Jackson, and I honestly and truly cannot remember how far Jackson is from Memphis.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I'm gonna say 4 or 5.
Jackson, Mississippi is a good landmark for that.
Yeah,
so,
that's fine. Billy, I know you got something you want to ask, so here's your opening.
I have a few questions, actually. We brought it up earlier. Jeff Gio, great friend of your guys's. you have his old grading equipment that you guys were using, but now you got that new 22-foot dual come in. Have you noticed the difference since bringing that in compared to what you had before?
Now we actually still have Mr. Jeff's dual. I mean, that's the one we mainly use now.
Okay. So, you just got new disc. Okay.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Went down there 2 or 3 times to disc, so now I can make one pass down and one pass back, so which helps everybody out, speeds, time, everything.
So from that grading system that you bought from Jeff, the dual that you bought from Jeff, compared to what you had before, what's the difference like?
Oh, it's crazy you say that. The first dual we bought was a 12-foot dual, but it didn't have plows on the front of it. It was just a cutter, that breaks pods and some section hairs and a board that smooths it out. So we used that for 1 year, and then we got talking to Jeff, and now we got his. But I actually sold our old dual, the small one, back. I sold it to my mother and father-in-law, and they never used it. So again, Michael, we wound up going back to Michael for a check, so we bought it back from him to have it as a spare in case something ever happens. We got a backup that we can't get out it. So yeah, we a lot of difference. It's daylight and dark. I mean, it ain't even. It's no comparison between like what we got from Jeff and what we had.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. And now last time we had you guys on the show, your track record was like a 340 something. It was not nearly as quick as it is now. How many times has it been broken since we last talked to you guys?
I'm gonna sue. Not that, of course, this last race, I think Mr. Jeff set it at a 306 at 112, I believe it was. But before then, the race before, I really think it was broken 5 or 6 times. And then it was broken a couple times before that. But that one race, we had Wade West, Carlton Ham, and Blake Chavis come down, and they brought all their bikes. And then we had Jade Muchmore, and he was down riding on the Stewart's bike, Stewart's Brother Racing. He was on their bike, and so Jaden broke it on their bike 2 or 3 times. I think Carlton and Wade and Blake broke it 2 or 3 times. It was just unreal. Then, of course, Jeff had to show up and show out. He had to just absolutely demolish it.
Well, that's it's so crazy how this really shows how much attention your guys' track is getting from how your track record has consistently been broken almost at every event that you guys have. It's really amazing to see, and just really appreciate you guys coming on the show. Just plug your sponsors for us. You said you couldn't do this without your sponsors. Go ahead and plug them.
Ooh, we've got a lot to name. I know we got Farm Belt, Emirates Marine, Kent's business, Blake's business. I'm drawing a blank. There's so many of Stan King Chevrolet. I mean, we've got Redline Racing. We've got a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's like 55 right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's 50 plus. It's a lot of them. I'm afraid if I start naming them, I'm gonna leave somebody out.
No, dude, I don't know how many other racetracks have 10 sponsors, let alone 50.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yep,
it's insane.
And again, what Michael said earlier, a lot of people say, "Oh, they put that money in their pocket and they're making a fortune." All that money goes to that track, because if you're in this business to make money, you're in the wrong business.
Right?
For sure. You ain't wrong.
But, our next step is one thing we're talking about is I've actually have 3 of them now, but I'm in contact with a guy. We're actually going to redo our lighting system. It's all really old and kind of out of date, but we've already got it lined up to I'm sure y'all have seen the big street lamps that hang over the, we're actually going to do 12 of those, 6 on each side. And it's going to be like a highway,
you're going to be able to see everything.
Oh, it's coming. I've got 3 of them right now, and I'm working on some more, but yeah, it's coming. It's just a matter of time of getting time to do it, because between races, like right now, it's rained every day for the last week now. So we don't do anything. It's just, but it's coming sooner or later.
Dude, I feel like Homochitto is going to be the spot to be in the years to come, because the upgrades you guys are making, the support you have, The turnout you guys got, which is basically most important, that helps you with all this growth. It's really awesome to see, and I'm happy for you guys and every single bit of it. It's really exciting to watch. I got to get down there. We got to get down there to Homochitto, man. It's gotta happen.
We had
very true.
Last trip, I'm telling you, we had people. I think, what'd you say, Michael? 16 states.
Yeah, it was. Oh my goodness gracious! I have to go through the list. I mean, we had Paul Moore from Ohio. We had Wade West and his crew from North Carolina. We had Chase Williams and his crew from Georgia. We had people from Louisiana, Texas. I mean, just all over. And we're so blessed to be able to have these people. Think enough of us to come and see us. We've also been blessed enough to be able to be a national sand drag record track now. So if somebody wants to come down, they think they set a track record or a national record with them. All they have to do is just come straight up to the time booth system, do a fuel check, and then we turn it in and go from there.
That's
awesome. Huge, and that's really big, with those guys, and that's big. All right, Damian Bowers, anything you would like to?
Not really. We already covered where I was going to go with it.
What? Say it.
The Mississippi truck crowd, basically.
Oh yeah.
It's a big thing here. It really is, because they've raced trucks here. I think they have a circuit of like four tracks that they do once a month. And I've actually talked to the guys before, because we're willing to do it. I'm telling you, it's not anything about we're against trucks or nothing to that effect. It's just we're willing to do it, but the lack of knowledge of we hate to put on something and then all of a sudden show up and, hey, we look dumb because we don't know what, as far as timing, the brackets, all that.
Yeah. That just makes me think. The one big thing I noticed in Mississippi with the truck guys, a lot of their local tracks, they do a weird thing where if the red light once, you back up. If the other guy red lights, you back up. So you get 3 shots at the tree.
Yeah, I actually witnessed that when I went to DT's Dirt Drags in Mississippi. I'm drawing a blank on the town, but down in DT's, I literally watched it happen. One guy took off, he red lit, they both hit the brakes, and they backed up, staged again. They took off, the other dude red lit, and they both hit the brakes, and they backed up, they went again, and they just raced. It was
bizarre.
It was so funny. It was crazy.
Huh.
No, that's I think that's in your future, man. I really do. And man, you guys are doing a great thing. Track is taking off, and really excited for where this heads, man. So
we're gonna be there. We're gonna get there for one of your guys' events. Best believe that. We're gonna make it happen.
Love to have y'all. Would love for y'all to come.
No, for sure.
When's your next race?
Yeah.
Our next race is June the 28th. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do yet. We're gonna have a 2-day after that, I believe. I think it's gonna be in July, maybe beginning of September. We're gonna have a 2-day, not this one, but the next one, which should bring people from further off. I know it's really hard to have people come, 15 hours for a 1-day race, but we've got a 2-day, not the next race, but the one after that. And I believe it's the beginning of September into July.
No, it's in August. That's what it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, like 7th and 8th, or August 6th and 7th, something like that.
I can't
remember.
Yeah.
August 8th and 9th, you mean?
That's it. Yep.
That's what it is. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
all right. Well, fantastic, guys. No, thanks for coming on, and we'd love to have you on again at some point. And you guys are doing a great thing, and really, really excited for you, and happy that it's rolling so well. So thanks for being here.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
Well, hey, I got 2 things.
Sure.
Yeah, hit it.
Jeff Gill is going to be really pissed off. Y'all keep saying Mister. That's number 1. Fact. And the other thing is, if Michael will keep writing them checks, we fixing to keep going. I promise you.
Hey, we got plenty of checks. That means we got plenty of money, right?
Anyway, we sure appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir.
Give a big thanks to Michael and Kent from Homochitto joining the show to talk about their track and whatnot. Up next, we're going to be talking to Jason Hoskins of Texas Mud Drags. He is brought to you by our reoccurring sponsor, racinginthedirt.com, parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, and it's to help their customers compete at their very best. With over 40 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, experienced and helpful staff as well. They have tires and wheels, tons of products like wheels, adapters, hub kits, breakout kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, knuckles, axles and parts, chain drives and drive line, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side UTV parts, and they also sell apparel as well. You can check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. That is racinginthedirt.com. And then you can also hit them up by email. You can email them at Shane at SHANE, Shane at racinginthedirt.com. And you can also give them a call at 920-693-2000. Once again, that's 920-693-2000. That are our boys at racinginthedirt.com. Only building the best. Those guys are fast as hell, and they get it done very good. Now, here's Jason Hoskins with Texas Mud Drags to recap the Silverback Offroad Speedway race, their season opener.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the next segment of the Paddle Talk podcast, brought to you as always by our friends at Silverback Offroad Rentals, Racing in the Dirt, and Silverback Offroad Speedway. And we're going to talk about an event that happened at Silverback Offroad Speedway this past weekend. It was the season opener for the Texas Mud Drag Series. Now, not to be confused, one, there was no flooding of the track, which is a rumor I heard in the week leading up to the race. There was no actual mud on the track, another rumor I heard leading up to the race. But you know what? There was really, really good door-to-door drag racing action, 200 foot. I think it was great. The crowd seemed into it, even though I heard there were some people that didn't really quite understand. I'm not sure how you don't understand side-by-side racing, and heads-up racing, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's how it is. So, Jason Hoskins is joining us, Dave Applegate, John Sorg, Damian Bowers, Billy Teeters, and myself all on the panel at this point in time. Gentlemen, welcome. And so myself, John Sorg, Damian, and Jason all on site this past weekend. Gentlemen, before we dive into results, give me one or two sentences for you guys that were there of how you thought, what you thought, just some random thought about the weekend.
Start with Jason.
I want to say thanks to Silverback. We had an amazing time down there. I had never run sand before. A lot of us haven't, and we all were trying to figure it out, and we all had a blast. I mean, everybody that was at that race really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to maybe going back and racing again.
Great. Fair enough. John Sorg?
You know, it was really cool. Got to meet a lot of cool people that we don't typically see. Got to see a lot of cool cars that we don't typically see. So all in all, it was, you know, for our normal layout, it was all different and everybody seemed to like it. So I thought it was a good time.
Okay. Damian Bowers.
Overall, amazing show. Unfortunately, the show was going against a couple other races, West Virginia, Indiana, next weekend the MRA. So we lost a little bit in the car count, but the show that was put on for every class, even in small block power outer where there was two cars that were just the class of the field. Other than that, every class, every truck was within a couple tenths of each other and making great close races, less than a car length margins at the end. Heck, just look at the picture Isaac's got up there. The two fastest big block class trucks going at it.
Yeah, we had
some cool picture.
Close races for that class. It was a really enjoyable class.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's get going with some results and we can kind of fill in as we go. So, Jason, what do you want to start with?
Well, we started out with the open bracket on Friday night. Third place was Damian Bowers himself. Second place was Kirk Schaefer. And the winner of the class was Keaton Hendricks.
Whoa. Let's stop right there. Okay. I heard a couple of names. What name did I not hear? Dave Applegate.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear a name that you thought you were going to hear?
Should you even be here right now, dude?
Who, me?
Yeah,
No,
what the heck? I thought you
talking
got
about
banned every
John.
time you lost.
What's that? Do what?
I'm talking about John.
Damn, I tried to
Oh.
escape this.
Oh.
Well,
Hey,
after
that
a
was a
weekend where
close
you
race
win
for
every
John.
class you enter, you only enter one class. Apparently, he didn't get enough seat time to go rounds.
Actually, what I was going to say was, remember like a week ago when we all said to you, maybe you shouldn't whoop up on that kid. You should have left him a little graduation present. Well, I think he took that a little personally because he pretty much smacked you around a little bit Friday night.
Oh,
Well, you know, I think he did.
Oh.
And I felt it all the way home.
Were you in the were you in Jim's new Blazer or were you in the dragster?
No, I was in the dragster.
Oh my god!
I know.
I believe what Keaton said
machine
afterwards
got beat.
I think what Keaton said afterwards was he doesn't even have any excuse about being in some new car or anything. I'm like, dang, dude.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing was they offered a $20 bounty on anybody that could beat Johnny. So that was up in the air already. And I tell you what, I think Keaton went right for it, man. He went right to the front of the lanes.
That was third round.
It was great.
That was third round. Is that right, John?
Yep.
3 rounds.
All right, go ahead, Jason.
Well, next we had our open class. Third place. I hope I'm going to pronounce this right. Ryan Portinga.
You're close.
Close enough. Yeah.
Sorry if I did it wrong, but second place
for
was
effort.
Daniel Fairhair, and first place was Doug Vinland. They put on one heck of a show down there on Friday night.
Shout out to all those competitors. My boy Daniel Carraher racing the dirt driving machine there, and that thing is awesome. Shout out to Doug getting it done as well. That's awesome. I bet the open class was exciting, even though the car count was not what everybody probably hoped it was, but it's still probably some good racing, I'd imagine. Was that double elimination too?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Well, cool. Yeah, well, that's dope then.
Then we started out the Saturday with the door slammer class. We have the top 5 for it. 5th place was Steven Swagger with that Bronco. That was an impressive running ride. We had 4th place with Holden Eckert in the Inferno ride. That was a new debut ride that he's got going pretty good for first time out. 3rd place was Jason Benson. 2nd place was Earl Lettner, and 1st place was Todd Bilsma. I hope I said that right.
Bilsma. That's all right. We're going to have Todd on next week, so we'll give him a chance to, if he wants to throw down and, something about Jason Hoskins, we'll let him do it. So it's all good.
That's all fair. I tell you what, all joking aside, that man has one fast ride. That was impressive to watch that class battle it out.
Any one of the top 3 could have gotten it at any moment, just depending on how that light went.
So how's this? Probably a guy that could have been top 3 quickest car on the property, Jason Vanderwall, doesn't even make the finals because he runs into Benson on one side and then runs into Bilesman on the other for his 2 losses of the day. Loses to the 2 quickest trucks on the property and can't even crack the top 5 just because of how the ladder laid out.
That's wild.
Well, not to mention that he spent all night working on to get it back together after having catastrophic failure.
I say it wasn't from lack of effort.
No, absolutely not, man. Those guys turn that thing around. Blown away.
Better. Because they didn't run better than 260 in any of their passes Friday night. Come off the trailer after completely rebuilding the top end and goes 242.
Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah, I seen a post by Jason Vanderwall that they stayed up until 3:30 in the morning rebuilding that thing on Friday night. That's wild.
When I went by before I was leaving the track Friday night, they had the short block sitting in the frame rails, and the entire top end of the motor was spread out across tables and they were getting ready to start assembling stuff back together again. It was nuts.
You know, there's one thing. Sorry, Damien. There's one thing to say when you're at a blacktop drag race, and a guy hurts an engine, or you're rebuilding the engine. Because with what I used to do with my dad, that's what we'd done. Is damn near every run you would have to at least go through the valves or check the rod and mains. But to do that at a sand or dirt track says a lot. That says a lot, and that's hard to do. So I give them a lot
Very
of
impressive.
good job for that. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
But yeah, that class, such a great show. My pick to win ended up getting second, but he did it all weekend. The only truck in the class without a wheelie bar.
Also true. I tell you what, Earl was on a rail the entire weekend. Listen, had Todd not, I'm going to say, so I heard that the reason that thing did not fire was possibly one of the fuel lines was completely plugged off with crap. Had they not found that, actually got that thing to run, they had not run within a tenth of what Earl was running up until that point in time.
Right.
You got to remember, that thing only really turned on the final like 3 passes it actually made.
Oh yeah, he was in the 40s all weekend, and then just finally got it to light.
Yep.
Boy, when he got her to light, though, man, that thing was a rocket.
Steve Morris's test launch in that backyard must have helped.
Yeah, Steve built some great stuff. I know he's got my engine up there he's working on, so I can't wait to get it. That's for sure.
All right, what do we got next, Jason?
The next we have the 4-wheel mod class. Third place was Rory Eckert and the black and green Ford Ranger. Second place was Jeff Miller and that beautiful Jeep that he runs. A very nice ride. And then first place was Andrew Saldet in the Purple Nightmare.
Jeff Miller, proof that it's better to be lucky than good any day of the week.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it. And this is not, and all 3 of those guys deserve everything they've got. But they all got a gift when Wittgen's transmission decided it was done with the chat there in the first round. That's heartbreak. I got to tell you, that is killer right there. Because that truck ran what, like a 77 or something like that in the one test pass he made, I think Saturday morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in the mid to low 70s, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he said they just basically made a hit to get some data, and that would have put him right up there in the class. And yeah, I mean, you towed out her first round, fires it, goes to drop it in gear, and it doesn't pull the motor down at all. So she was done.
Yep.
Probably broke the planetary inside of it.
Yeah, from what I had heard talking to someone, he went to fire it up and it had everything was neutral.
Yep.
That's not good.
No.
That sounds kind of like an input shaft on the transmission.
Right? Something they're not happy. So, but congratulations to those guys, because hey, you still got to work your way through. Jeff Miller with like what 350 or 500 pounds of lead hanging on that thing to make weight.
Yeah, he had it stacked on there.
He had a full passenger in the passenger seat.
Full passenger plus.
Shout out to Andrew Soldat for making a 22-hour trip even more worth it. So
and helping to put on the show too.
Yeah,
it was actually a 30-hour trip.
Ooh.
Oh God! How
many tires?
We left at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. We all pulled out at 7 o'clock. He rolled in this morning at noon, which is 1 o'clock
this morning.
Time. So they
we're filming this on Monday.
Huh?
I was just saying we're filming this on Monday. I was letting the people know.
Yeah. They pulled in on Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on our time, and they never stopped.
Damn.
They dropped their trailer and their trucks off at my place, so they wouldn't have to pull them back and forth. And they didn't even stick around to actually take care of anything. I took care of it for them, and they rolled out. I said, I'll take care of it all. And they had hit the road, and I talked to him at noon today, and he was pulling in the driveway.
Good grief.
Tell them go to sleep.
I didn't know why.
That's a heck of a weekend. All right, what's next? Four-wheel mod?
We just did.
We just did that.
The big block class.
Well, hold on. I'll read the big block class, Jason. You don't have to worry about that. Big block class. Third place we had Colton. Doherty. Colton Doherty getting third place. Second place we had Kyle Hansen, and in first place we had Mr. Jason Hoskins. Shout out, Mr. Jason Hoskins getting first place in the big block class. Isaac, what's that picture behind you?
I feel like we kind of got robbed because I was looking for version 2.0 of the picture behind me, and instead we got we did not get that race a second time, which I kind of figured we were going to.
Oh yeah.
And even caused physical injury to Damian Bowers over top of it as well. So
what happened, Damian?
Front end on that big blue Ford over there. The only truck left in the field after first round that was running on par with Jason. Unfortunately, there was a Blazer that had ran in the 20s and the Wild Child Ford that had ran in the 20s on Friday night. Both of them unable to make the call. Wild Child breaking the transmission, that Blazer breaking a rocker arm off. So they didn't make the call. That Troublemaker Ford right there in the low 20s with Jason all day gets down to the final four of the winner's bracket and explodes the front diff. I'm standing behind it recording it, and I got plastered head to toe and everywhere in between.
Damn.
And ended up on the ground for a few minutes.
Oh, you got pegged.
I got nut shot.
Yeah, he got
on
live stream, no less.
Bringing Pinion.
We're gonna clip that. We're gonna find that. We're gonna clip that.
It was like the Kennedy bullet. A lockout came out. It made a big sweep around the back and somehow hit him on its way back towards the front of the track.
It was actual dirt or a rock that caught me because the lockout was still sitting beside the tree.
I figured it just ricocheted off you and then ended up by the tree where they could find it.
We're just going to say that's what it was. It was
the
lockout.
That sounds a lot better.
So whenever y'all see Isaac talk, you can see the white truck in his photo. That is actually Jason's truck in the photo. So, like I said, congratulations, Jason, winning the big block class. How did you feel getting the win in that class?
Guys, I'll tell you what, that was a very different surface than I'm used to. And it was a very hard fought battle. I wish Daniel could have got his truck to run. We were supposed to run again. He couldn't make the call because of the broken parts. Yeah. I hate that for him. But all in all, that was a very good, close racing in our class, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the picture says it all. Those are two baddest trucks in that class on the property. No doubt about it. So.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to getting in the dirt to where I can actually hook up the power I have. I kept making changes, and changes didn't help. It wanted to dig down before it would go forward.
That's the biggest thing I figured out on that track is you tighten everything up, no suspension movement, just crank the wheel speed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now, shout out to the two guys that ended up getting second and third. I believe they came up as a team, basically both trucks on the same hauler, the Country Pimp, and I don't know the name of that black and white 70s model step side to oldest body style in the class.
Hickabilly.
They were telling me back home they run more along the lines of Hot Street or Super Street with those trucks with cast iron headed big blocks. So they were down a little bit on power, but hey, being there at the finals is all that matters.
That's right. And that was a super diverse field too. I mean, you had OBS Ford, you had older vintage Chevy, bunch of square bodies. We even had a Mopar. I mean, that was really cool and very relatable for every person sitting in the stands. I mean, whether they realize it or not, those trucks are quite a bit more than your average street truck or mud truck. But everybody there knew exactly what they were looking at, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really, really awesome. So,
Well, you said something about the fans, spectators. I heard that was really good this weekend too. I heard there was quite a few.
It was. The spectator
Yeah,
turnout
that
was
great turnout.
not low by any
Yeah,
stretch of the
good.
imagination. So I
And
thought it
they
was a
were
good
getting
turnout.
into it.
Yeah, they were.
I actually walked around the spectator crowd a little bit just to kind of get a vibe of how they were feeling about the race. And everybody that I talked to said they were really enjoying it, and that they said that the door slammer class was just unreal.
Yeah, very
That
much
it
so.
Yeah.
was.
So, all right. What do we got left then?
We have the small block power adder
The
class.
small block power adder class. Oh yes.
That was a really good class to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Third place ended up being Mike Page. Second place was Scott Vogel with that little twin turbo ride. And first place was Nick DeBoer.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Shout out to Nick.
Those two, Nick and Scott, were far and away had the rest of the field covered by 2 tenths. I
Oh, yeah.
had a shot at him at Scott for second round, but the nitrous didn't come on for some reason right off the hit, and unfortunate again. Did that same thing at Brookville last year.
Remind me which one's Nick DeBoer?
The blue Jeep with the intercooler sticking out the hood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That
Pro
thing
That
Truck
thing
Yes.
is a monster. As
Yeah,
is
fucking awesome.
Scott. If Scott could leave on boost, he could probably run in the low 50 territory because he ran a 65, and that truck doesn't start moving till he's 10 foot out.
They should call him the mailman. It looks like a mailbox hanging off the front of
Well, if
that
I'm
thing.
not
It's
mistaken,
freaking
he's
awesome.
been in the 340s before.
Right.
Yeah,
It-
In the
it's just
348.
it's so weird watching that truck take off because it just barely moves, and then just the boost comes in and it just starts trucking.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
It's,
was
it's cool to
running
watch.
Well, soft start
2.7s,
helps. I don't know.
2.60s at roughly 90 miles per hour when Scott or Nick DeBoer's running the same times at a little over 80.
Yeah.
That's the difference in 60 foot.
That's
Better
keeping from digging a hole when you first leave. Getting
Yeah.
up
Very
on
much
top
so.
and then bringing it in.
That Jeep and Nick DeBoer's though, they finally have that thing ironed out, and
Not
crazy
killing
enough.
a motor every race.
So he is using a hand-me-down converter from John Capizzi of stock bottom end LS world record holder fame. He's using a hand-me-down converter from John, and he said that's what made all the difference for that thing being able to leave correctly and down track, having some good manners and stuff like that. So congrats out to them. And Joe Holtoff put up $100 for every customer of his that won their class. And Nick said he'd go double or nothing. And Joe said he was good to go on that. So Joe's got 200 for him after the class win as well.
But yeah, that class was a blast. You had Ryan Portenga in the Heartbreaker, Tom Bray's old Jeep. That pink square body, full length truck running 2-wheel drive with a single turbo 6-liter. That thing was really impressive. Corey Ryder's mud bog truck, dune truck, single turbo 408 LS, running 3.0s at 4,600 pounds on cuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to believe that is, I mean, as nice as that thing looks, that's one of the first racing in the dirt Colorado builds is that Ryder truck. So
Yeah, that thing it weighed in at 4,600 and some change. It was heavy.
oh yeah. Yeah,
But
she's
by
fast.
God, he had the horsepower to make it move.
Oh, it would
Yeah.
run.
And Greg said he had a really good time. So that's really good, man. Great to see those guys out.
And I believe they are working on a new truck. Probably see it this weekend at the MRA race with their other truck with the new 800 plus inch motor.
Yeah, good question. So, all right, who's got questions for Jason while we're on this topic?
Yo, I got one.
Yo.
So Jason, we know that you kind of work with Texas Mud Drags to promote the series and help with the races and stuff. It's really awesome help what you do because you don't even live in Texas, you live in Indiana. So helping them out is huge, especially when they're trying to travel as they just did going to Michigan. With how well this weekend went for the track and everything like that, do you think Texas Mud Drags has a chance of going back there next year?
That will be something that has to be talked with Tim. I do not know the exact answer to that. I hope we do, because I really enjoyed the track, and I wanted to thank Brett and Kyle both for putting on a great race and having us there. We really enjoyed being there, and like I said, it was a little out of our element, but that's what makes it an actual good race, to where people have to contend with the same stuff that we've never run on before.
Oh yeah.
Sure, you gotta stay on your toes when you go somewhere else. You gotta, as they say, you gotta adapt to the track. What was that?
I still didn't get that sand figured out.
Hey, yeah, as fast. I will say I was honestly impressed. I expected even your truck to be back in the 340 range just because of the material. The fact there were so many of you right off the bat going to the 20s, that's impressive for a 3,600-pound truck in that sand. Usually that surface is a killer for anything with weight.
Yeah.
Well, I about had a party when I run that one pad. I got down to a 319, and I was ecstatic with that bit, because I know honestly that there's probably 2/10 difference between that sand and dirt.
Oh God,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, Dave, any questions we have before we let Jason go?
Yeah. Next event, where are you guys heading?
We are headed to Buchanan, West Virginia. We will be there July 26th. There's going to be a race in Jackson County on the 25th, or the 24th and the 25th, at their fairground race, for anybody that wants to come over a little early and have some fun at a smaller fairground race. It will be a good paying race. They have guaranteed money for that race for both nights. And then we're all going to head over to Buchanan for the Maniac Mountain Race. Hopefully there won't be anybody stacked on top of us for this race. I understood why David put on that race. I hope they raised plenty of money for the gentleman that's been needing it. He was pretty bad off. I actually know who he is. I'm looking forward to the Maniac Mountain Race, because I know there will be a very large car count there for the West Virginia guys that couldn't make it to this race.
Yeah. The big block class out there is going to be massive, because you're even going to get the Kentucky contingent down there too.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for. I'm honestly thinking somewhere between 25 to 35 in the big block class for the Maniac Mountain Race.
That's awesome, man. Good deal. No, I love it. So I don't know where Sword went. I was going to give him another shot, but yeah, I guess any last words, Jason? We'll get this wrapped up.
Well, guys, we at Texas Mud Drags, we greatly appreciate you guys giving us a great facility. That the grooming on that track, you guys have that down pat. That was unreal. It took maybe 3 or 4 minutes each time, and you guys were ready to run the next round. I've never seen a track that was that on it when it come to track prep. We never had to run anything with deep ruts or anything. We really appreciate the hard effort that they put into it, and I hope they invite us back. I will be back if they do. I promise that.
No, sounds good. All right. So that is going to wrap up our Texas Mud Drag segment here on the Paddle Talk podcast.
Thank you for joining us, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for being here, buddy.
Yep, thank you, sir.